course.
It's your station, Edward Adoo, across the eastern counties.
Most Christmas songs are catchy or sometimes a bit cheesy, but we haven't had a song that focuses on concerns about saving our planet. Caroline Chan is a singer and songwriter. She runs Christmas music groups, works in schools and community groups across London and Hertfordshire, and she also does a bit of busking and performs at pubs. Caroline is also passionate about climate change and decided to release an environmental song, Millions of Trees. And Caroline joins us in the studio. Merry Christmas and welcome to BBC. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you, Edward.
What made you decide to write a track about trees?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have been writing songs about the environment for quite a long time, and I've got several projects, and my daughters said, "Mum, why don't you write a Christmas number one?" And they say that every year. And then last year, on the 26th of December, I decided to try and write a song. And I was just thinking about things, and something came up on my screen, and it said that over 7 million trees, Christmas trees, get chucked every year into the landfill. And I couldn't believe it because I thought they all got processed. And then I started investigating. And before I knew it, I had a song starting about millions of trees. And but the trees are the trees, but I feel that the song signifies much more than the trees. And I chose to really explore the idea of not being so materialistic and seeing different ways for Christmas, or seeing the old way of Christmas and trying to bring it back through the song.
What is the old way of Christmas?
The old way of Christmas, I think it didn't start in September, for instance, and I actually think it's mad that everything is like a Christmas season. You can't get away from it. And the true Christmas day, it's almost forgotten by the time we get there. And I feel that it's so materialistic, and children watch these adverts on the telly. All they can think of is what presents are they going to get, and it's reinforced by such a mania for shopping and everything is adverts everywhere.
So as it's Christmas Day today, this is not in your world, it's not the official day to celebrate.
No, Christmas Day is the day to celebrate, but not 90 days before. So, the Christmas parties get earlier and earlier. Yeah. There just seems to be Amazon vans going backwards and forwards. It just seems to be out of control. And we are also trying to save the planet, save the waste, and it feels the opposite of that. So I just thought it was quite interesting to look at it from that point of view and see if I could possibly put questions in people's heads. And a lot of people have reacted and told me that they really do agree with the sentiments, and so many people have told me we can't get a Christmas tree now because of your song, Caroline, and mostly because the children have been listening. But I've got an artificial tree.
So you've got an artificial tree. So then what's the alternative to a proper Christmas tree?
There are companies now, and several people have told me about these, who actually have trees that grow throughout the year. They dig them up, they bring them to your place, and you look after it, and then they take it back and plant it back in, I think it's called London Christmas trees, and they plant it back, and then you can actually get it every year if you want. Or artificial trees probably weren't such a good idea in the first place because of all the plastic that's involved. But I suppose once you've got one, if you use it, that is got to be better than just wasting something.
But this is part of a bigger conversation, because this is about climate change and making a difference. And there are some people who are vocal about climate change, and some people protest in the wrong manner. What do you think music is the right tool, like what you're doing, in order to get the message out there?
Well, I work with children, and I run my own music sessions in North London, and I also go into schools. And I use all the new material that I've written, and I throw it out there amongst all the sort of very popular songs. And I know that when you, because my groups have adults and children in them, and people do say, and I know that their children are changing how they look at things because they're thinking of the lyrics that I've written, and because they're remembering the session that they've possibly enjoyed with me with a guitar, and they are asking questions that the parents have to answer, and therefore the parents and the adults are also changing their ways. And when I went busking along the climate change protests, I sort of was a bit of a sideshow because my songs are all about that. People were just engaging all the time and just telling me that they really thought that the lyrics were so important and that they were making them think and they were catchy, so therefore they were remembering the message. And I think music is just the most amazing tool to change people's attitudes and to also maybe create new pathways. And I spend a lot of time writing my lyrics and trying to make them sort of say what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I really do think that music, art, dance, theatre, film, all these things I think are hugely powerful and positive, and it's not like a big rant, which I can do, but I prefer to sing a song.
It's Christmas Day!
Yeah.
You just mentioned you recently bussed at the Extinction Rebellion. What was that like?
It was such an interesting experience. I mean, I met some very, I suppose we were all people who want the same thing, but in very different ways. And I actually went with a friend of mine who he used to come to my music groups with his daughter, who's now too old to come to the groups, but he still likes to come. And he made his own drum kit out of boxes and tin pans and kitchen utensils, and he was a great attraction too. So the two of us were just like a little act, but people were coming and listening. And I actually got my granddaughters who sing on this song, who came along because they thought busking was just so exciting, and also they were probably, you know, the big attraction too. And they know all the words of all my songs, so it you know, it just all has a sort of a good positive impact, I think.
Did you get a chance to meet like-minded people who share the same interest and who want the same things as you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think people think that all the Extinction Rebellion people, you know, they have this image of them, but I think they're all so many different people who come together in different ways and just want to express what they're doing and express their concerns for the planet. So, you know, it was an incredibly artistic and lively and colourful group of people. And yeah, for me, it was just a brilliant experience. And everybody accepted everybody, and everybody did things to different degrees. I just felt it was a good place for me to be singing the songs that I've been writing for the last 5 or 6 years, even more actually. And they just felt completely right, whereas they didn't always feel right in a pub or wherever I was singing. But now they do, because everybody seems to be, you know, thinking much more in those terms.
Tell us more about Millions of Trees.
Well, I went on a songwriting course in the summer, and I didn't write it then, but my sort of horizons were widened, and I met lots of people. And so one of the people on the who was running the course was producing music. So I just contacted him and asked whether we could just have a go at experimenting at producing this song long distance, because it was a long way away. And so that again was a completely different experience for me, because previously I've always recorded in a studio. And then a cellist walked into my life. He's now staying with us, and needed accommodation for a while, and just the most amazing cellist. So I got him to play on it, and he was very happy to do so. And it just grew and grew. And then the kids, they just knew the song so well that I just thought, well, maybe we should have a choir. I really wanted a choir, but a choir was not available. So I had to get my 2 granddaughters, who are 7 and 5 years old, to record separately, then to record together, and then to record with my daughter and myself. So that was a group. And we just did many different recordings. And I think it almost sounds like not a choir, but a much bigger group of children than 2. So that again was a huge experience. And yeah, I think the song evolved and changed, and I had to cut out, because I tend to say too much, as you might have noticed. And I had to cut out a big chunk of a sort of science lesson that I had put in the song, because I was told that could be yet another song. So it's kind of been trimmed like a Christmas tree. But I just hope people say that it has made them think, but it's not a miserable song, and it just makes them enjoy it because of the video that goes with it. And basically, I think if it doesn't make number 1, that's fine. I just feel that it's had a bit of an impact.
It's just for you.
Yeah. No, it's not just for me.
No, but I mean, from a kind of, well, not like spiritual, but it's something that you created, and if it doesn't get out there, then at least...
I've tried.
You tried.
Trust
You've
me,
done it.
I've tried. Yeah.
We've got an option. You can either do an acoustic version, or we've got the track to play. How are we going to do this?
I don't know.
It's Christmas Day.
I've got my guitar.
Yeah.
I was thinking that maybe I could sing along I don't know if it's possible that I can start it off and that you can finish it off with the recording, or
I see you
you
what.
can increase the volume and I can disappear. Because
got
when
an
the kids
idea.
come in, I can't do that on my own.
I've got an idea. Should we play the track and then you could possibly end with it? Does that make sense?
Maybe, yeah.
Right, let's
I can
try.
join in. Maybe I can join in.
Please introduce your track.
Okay, so this is Millions of Trees, and it was started on the 26th of December 2018, and now it's being played on Christmas Day 2019. Thank you.
Another year is coming to an end. I'm thinking about my family and friends. I know there's got to be a better way to celebrate this very special day. Funny how we just about remember the days when Christmas started in December. Now the lights go up before the summer's barely gone, and straight away the madness starts and carries on and on. Millions of trees will go just for Christmas Day, and millions more we grow just to throw them all away. Why don't we stop and think and change the things we do for a better future for me and you? Millions of tons of stuff we buy for just one day, and everything comes packed in stuff we throw away. Millions of plastic toys all swimming in the sea. Is this really how Christmas time should be? And if we teach our children what to do, maybe they will change their point of view. Our planet is in trouble, it needs some loving care. We can try to stop the greed, we can learn to share. A present isn't always something bought. It can be so small, what matters is the thought. A pocket full of promises, a newly planted tree, something that won't cost the earth, or something that is free. Millions of trees will go just for Christmas Day, and millions more we grow just to throw them all away. Why don't we stop and think and change the things we do for a better future for me and you? Millions of tons of stuff we buy for just one day, and everything comes packed in stuff we throw away. Millions of plastic toys all swimming in the sea. Is this really how Christmas time should be? And the magic will live on in songs and stories. Where's the spirit of Christmas gone? Changing the way that we live can happen, so a million trees can stay where they Millions of trees will grow just for Christmas Day, and millions more we grow just to throw them all away. Why don't we stop and think and change the things we do for a better future for me and you? Millions of tons of stuff we buy for just one day, and everything comes packed in stuff we throw away. Millions of plastic toys all swimming in the sea. Is this really how Christmas time should be? Imagine how our Christmases could be.
Wow. What a great track. My
you.
guest on this Christmas Day on the BBC across the East, Caroline Chan, singer-songwriter. That's to attract millions of trees. You've already explained what the aim is for this track. You want it to be number one. What do you want people to do after listening to it?
I would like them to listen to the lyrics, to see how they can relate it to their lives and possibly make a difference. If they've got children, to pass that on and share that with them. And also, I think it would be a lovely way for them to be introduced to my other music. And I have many, many other tracks all about these things that we're talking about. I've got one about plastic, one about the oceans, another about the spaceman who looked at the planet and wondered what we were doing with it. So I hope that it brings my own creativity and songwriting to possibly a wider audience, and I think that's all I can really hope for. And I would love to get involved with writing for theatre or film or TV. That is a little ambition that I have. So if
Always
they can
good
help
to be
there,
ambitious. Always good.
aim high.
And how can people get a copy of the track?
The track is available on Spotify. They can see it with the film on my website. Shall I say what the website is?
Yeah, by all means,
It's www.minibeatmusic.com. And that there you can see the little video. I say little, but it really was a lot of doing, so I would love them to watch that. Thank you.
It's a great
You've
video.
no idea what went on behind the scenes, but anyway, it was. I think it was worth it. But I really wanted somebody to make an animation for it, but I had no luck in finding somebody. And then I just thought, you know what, you've got to do it yourself. And so I did, and well, I think I'm still paying the price in sleep and everything, but I got there, and I feel happy that I managed to produce something which I feel reflects the sentiments behind the song,
and
lightheartedly in some ways, I think.
And how will you be spending the rest of the festive break?
Well, so far I've just been spending so much time on this song and trying to kind of reach out to people. So Christmas is a bit, for me, this year, I hate to say it, but it's a bit like a car crash into Christmas. I'm just not prepared, and I'm just going to go with it and hope that my song saves me, and people will realise that that's taken up a lot of energy. Therefore, I haven't really been very organised in other ways. But
listen, you're here with us today on Christmas Day. Thank you very much for coming in, and just remind us of your website again, minibeatmusic.com.
That's it, yeah. And actually, I have the album on the other environmental songs. It's called Earth Calling, and it's Caroline Chan, and you can find that on Bandcamp and Spotify. So there are that's 5 of the many, many songs that I recorded this year.
Caroline Chan, thank you very much for coming in, and enjoy the rest of your festive break. And can I just say, Merry Christmas.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thanks very much for playing my song.